Sit up straight. Press your fingertips down, lengthen through your side waist and side chest. Move your arm bones back so your shoulder blades come into your back. Keep this lift of your chest. Release your hands to your thighs and close your eyes. Extend your thighs. With even and equal weight, your two sitting bones lengthen up through the front of your body. Press your shoulder blades into your back ribs to lift your chest. Soften your neck and throat. Relax your jaw. Press your tongue into the base of your mouth. Take slow, even breaths. And then gently open your eyes. All right, come into child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Make sure your knees are evenly apart. I've noticed recently that my left leg is usually a little more in. And extend your hands forward, pressing your palms into the floor. Push your hips back, and then lower your spine between your shoulder blades towards the floor. Press your palms down. And as you press your palms down, if you're pressing strongly enough, your forearms will not rest on the floor. A little lift will come to the forearm, little activity in the upper arm, Notice if one buttock is closer to the heel than the other, and press with the opposite hand. So, for example, if the left buttock is lighter, press with the right hand. Then come up to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Straighten your legs. Lift your hips. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Here too, if you press your hand strongly into the floor, the palm of the hand into the floor, that will lift your forearms away from the floor. So keep that. Then notice if one heel is slightly higher than the other, or pressing into the ground a little less. And then push through the opposite arm to get that one closer to the floor. At the same time, descend your spine towards the floor, towards your legs. But keep the palm pressing into the floor and lifting your arms up. So the arms, especially the forearms, try to lift up as the spine, I mean, obviously the spine doesn't move without the rest of the body, but it gives you an idea of where to move. Moving the spine between the shoulder blades. Piece of butter melting into a pan. And walk your hands back towards your feet. Fold into Uttanasana. Keep your quadriceps well lifted. Send your head towards the floor. Lift the backs of your legs up. Lift the fronts of your legs up. Relax your shoulders, relax your throat, relax your neck. All right, and then place your hands on your hips, all the way back up. So we're going to do Parigasana, gate pose, and we're going to do it in a couple different stages related to Anamika's question. So there's no pressure on the foot here, but it also has other advantages to use a block. So if you have a set of blocks, then you're going to have them nearby. If you don't have a set of blocks, you can just repeat the same pose over and over again. So come to kneeling and have your blocks nearby. Then take your right foot out, so your heel lines up with your knee, both knees. So this one lines up here, and this one lines up here. And then the other heel lines up with its own knee, so it's not turning in or going out. All right, now descend the outer hip of the right leg. And that will actually turn, as you descend this hip, that turns this hip that way. So you have to somehow open up here by gripping your outer right hip and then descend it down. Now you're going to take your forearm on the leg and the other one overhead, your left arm overhead. All right. So see what that feels like. And then come back up. And now place a brick, or repeat, under your foot. And you still want the same square here. I mean, it's a little more trapezoidal, but so as you lift the knee up, it should help you descend the outer hip. So rest your arm and take your left arm overhead. And then if that's comfortable for you, you can bring your hand either down to a second brick, down towards the floor. Right. Lift, back up. Try the other side. Line up your heels and your knees. Descend the outer left hip. Rotate the right hip away. And then take your left arm to your left leg, take your right arm overhead, and come over to the side. Inhale, come back up. Now place the block there, and now you know about the second block. Didn't mention that one here. All right, come a little far away. So placing your left leg on the block helps you rotate that hip down. Oh, shoot.
You're still there.
I'm still here?
Yeah.
Huh. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know why. I've lost my video. Oh, there I am. A good job for everyone that's there, yes. It logged me out, and I was just about to, it said that somebody else logged in, so I was about to send a text to see who logged in. All right, so I'm going to assume that you tried it on both sides. All right, so now we're going to go to the first side again, and we're going to go to a straight leg. So first straight leg, have the ball of the foot on the block, and then you can have a second block back here. You get, so what happens in Parigasana or a lot of standing poses is if you push here, especially in Parigasana, you're going to be pushing into hyperextension if you do hyperextend. So I'd rather you had a block, or you can use the back of your hand. So anyway, so line up your heel with your knees, lift your arms up, rotate your right hip under, lift your left arm up. Exhale, come over to the side, and either place your hand on a block or the back of your hand on your leg, so you're not putting too much pressure on that leg going out to the side. And inhale, come back up. And now, lift your heel up, and now you'll just have to keep the front. If you can point your foot, great, I can't. So I'm going to lift the front of my foot up. And so now the hip is higher, the leg is higher. Lift your arms up, turn your palms to the ceiling. Lift your left arm straight up. Take your right arm over to the leg or to the missing block. And come towards Parigasana. All right. Inhale, come back up. Now, just to take it one step further, go ahead and put 2 blocks on top of each other and try it one more time. So each time you lift the leg up, it's easier to descend that leg's hip. All right. Arms up, palms up. And with your exhalation, come over to the side. And for those that are trying to get towards the final pose, it's easier when the leg is higher. Inhale, come back up. All right, second side. So put the ball of your left leg, left foot, so hot I'm sticking to the mat, on the block. Right leg directly underneath its own hip. Straighten your left leg, lift your quadricep, lift your arms up. Turn your palms to the ceiling. Lift your right arm up, extend up. Exhale, come over to the side. Inhale, come back up. All right, 1 block. And this one doesn't even come close to pointing. Someday. More Virasana for me. All right, descend your outer left hip, lift your arms up, turn your palms to the ceiling, and come over to the side. Keep that outer left hip descending and the right hip moving away from the left. And then come back up. All right. 2 blocks. And as the leg lifts up, it's easier and easier to descend that outer hip. Lift your arms up, turn your palms to the ceiling. With an exhalation, come over. And maybe a little further over. There you go. Try to keep your chest facing the camera. Inhale back up. Finish your foot. All right. Come into downward dog. This is a evening out, not an evening out, but an evening out pose. Press both hands into the floor to take both thighs back. So we did that in Parigasana because there's no weight on the foot for the most part. I mean, there's a little, but there's not the weight of the torso on the foot like there is in Trikonasana. Now we'll try it in Parshvakonasana. So walk your hands back to your feet. Take the blocks on the right side of your mat. And then take your arms and legs wide. Press your outer feet into the floor. Lift your inner thighs up. Turn your right leg all the way out. Bend your right leg. Take your right hand down to a brick or to the floor. Take your left arm overhead. Now descend the outer right hip. Rotate your chest towards the ceiling. More and more and more and more and more. Look at the ceiling. So as you descend your right hip more and more, turn more and more. So they work together. Then lift your left arm up. Inhale, come up. All right. Now let's try that with the foot on the block. So obviously in this kind of position, you can't jump your feet apart. So take your right foot on a block. You can do the same pose and just feel how it'll have an effect on the foot, but mostly it affects the hip. So lift your arms up. Then with an exhalation, bend your right leg. Take your right hand down, left arm over. For those with tighter hips, this may feel a lot easier. It puts more weight in the back foot, and that's how it helps the front foot. So when you have pain in the front foot, I have no idea why you would have pain in the front foot. So that's why we're experimenting. But there's less weight, so that should help. All right, lift your left arm up. Inhale, come up. Step your feet together and move your blocks to the other side of the mat. Take your arms and legs wide. Press your outer feet into the floor, lift your inner thighs up. Turn your left leg out. Bend your left leg. Take your left hand down, take your right arm over your head. Parsvakonasana. Descend your outer left hip. Rotate your chest towards the ceiling. Descend your outer left hip. Don't forget about your right leg. Keep your right leg straight. And notice how this feels in the hip. Notice how it feels in the foot. Then lift your right arm up. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet. Now we need to set up our break station. Or you're just repeating the pose. It doesn't hurt to repeat the pose. And in some classes where all we did was the same pose over and over again. Lift your arms up. With an exhalation, bend your left leg. Take your right arm down, left arm overhead. Yeah. So notice how this lifted foot feels on your foot and your hip. So as you descend the left hip, rotate the right rib cage towards the ceiling. Well, the whole rib cage will turn together, but sometimes it's a little easier to move the right than the left. Then lift your left arm up, or right arm up, inhale, come up. Step your feet together. Now this same idea can be done, it's gonna be hard to show. I'll use a rolling chair. This is a bad idea, but my yoga chairs are in the other room. So you could do the same thing. You'd have this foot further back on a chair. I'm just showing so that you know that you can lift it higher and higher. Don't use the rolling chair. You could also do it at the wall, like this. Same pose. So if the foot really is causing you pain, take the weight off your foot. Okay, and now we're going to switch gears because my plan was for back bends because moving soon, so we'll need lots of back bend. So if you have a wall nearby, use a wall. We're going to be doing the down dog split. So keep your left foot on the ground, lift your right leg up, and then walk yourself back towards the wall. I'll show that from the side. Like this. So focus on the top leg. If you don't have a wall, you can still do it, but it's a lot more work, and you're not going to get the stretch in the top leg as well as you would if you were against the wall. So keep the top leg super straight by lifting the quadricep. So activate the quadricep, and then rotate your right hip towards the floor. So if you need to bend your left leg, that's okay. And lower that leg down. You can take a little break or not. Then lift your left leg up the wall. Keep your left quadricep super lifted, activated. Rotate your left hip towards the floor. Don't worry as much about the straight leg, although it doesn't hurt to get some benefit from the straight leg. So it's this game you kind of play where you straighten the back leg and then or the up leg, and then that hip lifts up to straighten. And then you have to rotate the hip in, and then the leg bends again. All right, and lower that back down. Okay, so we're going to do something else, kind of in the same genre. All right, and we're going to do, you just watch for a second. We're going to do tutouche with a little variation. And I want you to be up on blocks if possible, or have something under your hips. It could be a bunch of couch cushions, it doesn't really matter. Blocks are just what I'm using right now. So I'm actually going to have my blocks tilted in a V, like they were part of my pelvis. Your pelvis is slightly V-shaped. I find this extremely comfortable, but you're going to have your blocks any way you want. And then I lift my legs up, and I'm going to take one leg as close to the floor as possible. So the same kind of stretch we got at the wall, we're going to get lying down. All right, so set up so that you have something under your hips, and the height is, the higher you are, the more you're hoping from your front groins as far as opening. So if you're on a medium height block or on a stack of blankets, this might be easier, but you're still going to need some stretch. So lift your legs up to the ceiling like you're doing viparini, which essentially you are. Find your balance. Make sure your shoulders are rolled under, your chest is lifted and broad. And then activate both quadriceps, but focus on activating the right quadricep more and more as you lower the right leg down towards the floor. And it may not go all the way down without bending. And if you want to support it on the floor, then you just have less height under your hips. But hopefully you're feeling some kind of opening happen to the front of the right hip. Then slowly lift the right leg up. And lower the left leg. So keep the left quadricep in your mind. My quadriceps tend to like not communicate with me. They're like unruly teenagers or something when I do any kind of back bends or something. They check out. And, my leg is almost always bent. So something else for Mary to work on. Then lift your left leg. Bend your knees, take both feet to the floor. Lift your hips. And slowly lower your hips back down. Roll to your side. Stand up. All right. All right. You're going to do Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So essentially, the distance between the legs is the same in all three of these. So take your arms and legs wide. Turn your palms up. Lift your arms up. Turn to your right. Turn your right leg all the way out. Turn your left leg in. Anamika, here too, you could use the block. We're kind of going in a different direction now. But if this pose, I would be interested to know if it hurts with the leg straight versus bent, because here I can feel definitely an opening or a stretch in the front of my foot and a little crunching in the back. So I can see it here more than when we bend the front leg. Anyway, something to think about. With your exhalation, bend your front leg. Now really, really focus on that back leg. See if you can get that same opening in the front of the leg that you just did in the block supported Chaturshpadasana. Straighten your right leg. Keep your arms up. Turn to the center. Then turn to the left. Lift your arms up, extend up. Press through your right heel as you bend your left leg. Trying to keep focus in your back leg. Feeling the openness come to the hip of the back leg. Then straighten your left leg, turn your feet to the center, take your hands to your hips. Inhale with your exhalation, bring your hands to the floor. For Prasarna Padottanasana, wide angle forward bend. Yes, many feet are going wider. It is a wider footed pose, but all right, walk your hands back, pull down, rest your head, downward. This will help you catch your breath in case you got a little warm and get you ready for Shirsasana. Lift your quadriceps well, lift the backs of the legs, lift the fronts of the legs. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. Inhale, lift your chest. Walk your hands forward. Place your hands on your hips, come all the way back up, and step your feet together. All right, Shirshasana or Shirshasana prep. So a good one to do today, since we're going forward back bends, is Shirshasana prep. So that's the dog-like pose with your arms, your elbows on the floor, your hands interlocked. Remember to change the interlock. And coming up like this. Now, if you're in either pose, I want you to focus on pressing the midpoint of your forearms into the floor. All right? So choose what you're going to do. And then get ready to go up or go up. Now, it's the most important time of pressing your forearms into the floor is going up and coming down. Keep your shoulders moving toward the ceiling. Your neck and throat soft. Your jaw relaxed. The pressure on each arm even. So if the legs are drifting, chances are there's more pressure in one arm than the other, although that could be related to your shoulders as well. Or the space between your elbows, or all kinds of things. And I listened to a fresh air podcast the other day, and it was about, she was interviewing somebody that studied the breath. And his main thing was, breathe through your nose and try to slow down your breathing. So here in Shirshasana, it's a really good interview, by the way. Here in Shirshasana, see if you can slow down your breathing. And come down. Press your forearms into the floor as you lower your legs to the floor. And rest in child's pose. All right. So if you know Pinchamayurasana, you will do Pinchamayurasana. If you're comfortable with it, which is not necessarily the same thing as knowing it, you may know it, but if you're not comfortable with Pinchamayurasana, you can take your elbows on the floor, block width apart, come up into downward dog, look at the block, and walk in. All right? Or you can go up into Pinchamayurasana. And see here, once you're up, how much you can press your forearms into the floor. Those in the pose, buttocks up. Yeah, hard, just come down. Yeah. You can come up and down more than once, obviously. You can use either leg. Look at the block, Chad. Yes. And then after you do that, or before you do that, or after you do that, you can either do the L pose. Oh, don't hit the VCR, even though it's updated. Or you can do handstand, or you can do Virabhadrasana 3 with support. All right? So pick one of those and do that. Looks good, Bob. There, oh, so close, so close. Ah. All right, okay. Moving right along. Belly down, back bends. So if you need a little extra support under your abdomen for these, so I'm using this green mat here. You can use a blanket and lie on your belly. Roll your thighs in. Place your hands either side of your rib cage, about middle rib. Lift your quadriceps. Roll your shoulders back. So bring those lower tips of the shoulder blades into the rib cage. Press down with the palm of your hand. Lift your chest as high as possible without any weight in your hands. Then re-engage your quadriceps and press your hands into the floor and curl up into cobra pose. Bhujangasana. So, legs pressing down, chest lifting up. Lower back down. Reset your legs, so if they rolled out, roll them back in. All right. This time, just for something different, I want you to straighten your arms all the way, but first we're going to coil up. So, activate your legs. Bring the lower tips of your shoulder blades into your back ribs. Take your ears away from your shoulders, or your shoulders away from your ears. You can move your ears, great. Keep your elbows in close to your body. Lift your chest. Then press your arms down and lift up a little bit. And then straighten your arms all the way. All right, see how high you get. All right. Then try to keep as much of that height and bend your elbows a little bit. Yeah. Then take your shoulder blades towards each other. Yes. Oh, that's so much better, Chad. Yes. All right, and come back down. Well, just because I think Samasana is a very important pose for our back health, we're going to do it. It's kind of a minor back bend compared to the others. So lift your quadriceps well, take your hands by your hips, palms up. Now you're going to do the same thing with your upper body. You're going to bring your shoulder blades into your back, especially the lower tips of the shoulder blades. And you're going to coil your chest up. But now you don't have the help of your hands, although you could push your knuckles into the ground to lift up. Then lift your legs up, and maybe you'll get a little bit more, and lift your arms up, and you might get a little bit more. Lift from the inner thighs. And then come back down. All right, if it's very easy for you and you don't have any kind of back pain or twinging, you'll take your feet together. If not, keep your feet hip width apart. All right, lift your quadriceps, press your fingernails into the ground. Bring your lower tips to your shoulder blades into your back ribs. And slightly closer together, so the shoulder blades come in. Your chest is lifted, you're looking slightly forward. Coil up as much as you can. And then lift your legs, lift your chest a little more. Lift your arms, lift your chest a little more. And then come back down. Rest. All right. Dagurasana. I think I always teach these in the same order. I should probably change. All right. Bend your knees. Reach back for your feet. All right. All right, you can grab them one at a time. Yeah. Okay, when you grab your feet, you might have to lift your chest just to get them. So keep that lift. All right, then bring your shoulder blades into your back body and use that to help you lift your chest. Shoulder blades slightly closer together. And then use the same action you were using in Chalandasana to lift your chest. Then the same action to lift your legs. So you're not up as high as you can possibly go. You'll notice that if you don't go as high as you possibly can go, you'll be able to stay longer. All right. Point the toes towards the ceiling for this one. Then kick into your hands and lift yourself a little higher. Oh, have we been here a while? Then lift your legs and then come back down. Take a few breaths. Try to extend your breath, both the inhale and the exhale. One more, and then we'll move on to Ustrasana. All right, reach back, grab your feet. All right, once you get your feet, we'll just do this slight variation. Bend your ankles so your toes point towards the wall behind you. So you're holding your ankle this time. So rather than this one, it's this one. All right. And then without using the strength of your arms or your legs, lift your chest. Press your shoulder blades into your back ribs to lift your chest more. bring your shoulder blades towards each other. And then lift your legs up. So you're still not using your legs to lift your chest, but now your ankles are flexed. And you might have more power as you kick into your hands to lift yourself up. Lower yourself back down. Make a little pillow for your head and rest your forehead down. Come up to sitting. So if you don't have a bolster, you can use a set of blankets folded lengthwise. And you can put that on your heels for Ustrasana. If you know you can reach your heels, you can just skip this stage. This sitting on my feet will help me straighten my toes in Parigasana, way back at the beginning of class. Yes. All right. Then press your shins into the floor, lift your hips up. Take your hands to your hips, take your elbows back. As you take your elbows back, you'll feel your shoulder blades moving in towards each other. And maybe even digging a little more on the bottom portion of the shoulder blade. Then push your hips down, lift your chest up, and reach back for that blanket. Press down on the blanket to lift your chest higher. If your neck is comfortable in this position, you can take it back. Keep trying to get more and more length in the torso to go closer and closer to the ceiling. Then with your next inhalation, lift yourself up and sit back down on your heels. And I've lost my blankets. Looks like most of you have bolsters anyway. All right, the nice thing about blankets is you can remove one. And if you remove the bolster, then you just don't have anything. So second attempt, either with or without support. So come up to kneeling. Press your shins down. Take your hands to your hips, elbows back. That shoulder blade action reminds your chest to lift, so lift higher and higher. We were all lucky like Bob and had a rope wall. We could reach up on the ropes and lift ourselves higher and higher. All right. Shins got light. Press your shins into the floor. Press your buttocks down. Lift your chest. Reach back for your heels, or the bolster, or the blanket. And then once your hands make contact with something, press down on that thing to lift your chest higher and higher. Take your head back if you're comfortable doing so. And press your shins into the floor. Inhale, lift yourself up. And sit back down on your knees. All right. So, Urdhva. So the thing is most people don't have chairs. That's kind of they're $60, but I mean, like, it's kind of a specialized piece of equipment. So we're gonna try it without the chair. So you're gonna take a couple blocks like this, so they're flat.
And I'm gonna place my hips on those blocks. And you can just watch if you want. So these 2 blocks, one block, see where it is, under my hips. 2 blocks, under my hips. Okay, so this works similar to the way the stacked bolsters work. For many people who can do Urdhva Dhanurasana from the floor, the stacked bolsters just get in the way and make it harder. This is kind of the same thing. But what this does is it lifts, for me, the heavy end up. All right? So I press my feet into the floor, and I can lift my hips up a little bit. Then I bring my hands by my shoulders, roll my shoulders under, and lift my chest a little bit. All right? Lift my hips, lift my chest, and then I'm going to try to do both at the same time. I'm going to lift my chest first, press my hands down, press my feet down, and lift it. All right? So everyone should have something to do. So you can either just put your hips on the blocks and just practice lifting your hips off the blocks. And you can even put your hands in the Urdhva Dhanurasana position and practice lifting the chest and seeing how that affects the shoulders. All right. I actually think this is easier than the bolsters. Bolsters always slide everywhere. All right. So wherever you are, you're going to press your hands down, lift your chest. Draw your shoulder blades into your back. You're kind of at the back of your head and on your palms. Press your palms down, press your feet into the floor. With a big exhalation, lift them. Or not. Or just lift your hips, or just lift your chest. Yes, and you can also straighten your legs, that's nice. Okay. Try it again. So, I mean, eventually, if this was tall enough, you'd be able to lift, right? Because there would be nothing to lift from. So you can think of it that way. So usually we start doing Urdhva Dhanurasana off a chair. So you're pretty high up. So this is about half as tall as a chair. So bring your hands out. Now, if your wrists are hurting, you can turn them to the side so that the fingers face the long side of the mat. This helps a lot of people's wrists who have wrist pain in this pose. But traditionally, the fingers point towards the hips. So lift your chest up, bring your shoulder blades in, press your feet into the floor, and the legs lift the hips and the arms lift the chest. So sometimes if you think of it that way, that the arms don't have to do all the work, it's a little easier to press up. Or whatever works. Yeah. All right, come back down. Remove the bricks and rest the hips on the floor. Somebody wants in. Okay, so your choices are shoulder stand, or you can do this version of Tatouche that I've showed before, where you place your heels on the wall and you lift your hips up. This is a lot harder to maintain than shoulder stand. So this is just helping you build strength. So after you've done this a few times, you place a brick under your hips and rest there. All right? Otherwise, set up for Sarvangasana. Yeah, it can be supported, of course.
these blankets. We got a little kitty that wants to come in. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Sometimes I think about like what it'd be like to be a famous person and how everything you say is subject to scrutiny. I'd be in a lot of trouble. You know, just like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, some tabloid would be like, Mary Scott, she doesn't know what she's doing. Why is she teaching yoga? Go up when you're ready. So in whatever pose you've chosen, lengthen your breath. Breathe through your nose. I think sometimes as yoga asana people, obviously not pranayama people, the people that primarily focus on pranayama are, you know, do it a lot, not me. There's too much breath in the front of the body. For me, certainly, because I like to bend backwards. So I have all this opening in the front of the body, but not in the back of the body. And I've been thinking about how the people with bad cases of COVID are being put basically in massage chairs where their face goes through and they're on their bellies. And they're trying to breathe into their back body because it's easier for them. So here in shoulder stand is your chance to focus on your back body because, well, for one, your abdomen is coming crashing towards your front belly. Maybe not crashing, it might be, but it's coming toward. Even if you're a thinner person, you still have that weight of the abdomen moving toward the diaphragm, especially in front. So you can spend this time in shoulder stand focusing on moving the rib cage and the back body. See if you can get any movement back there. Even if you can't feel it with your hands, see if you can just create any kind of awareness back there. Shatouche is definitely more of a back bend shape, so maybe a little harder to bring the breath into the back body, or at least expand it like you would be able to in a forward bend. And shoulder stand somewhere in between because the shoulders are tucked under like a back bend, but the thoracic spine is definitely more rounded like a forward bend.
Now, of course, if you know there's a pose that I'm currently doing, it's near Lama, Sarvangasana 1, where the arms overhead. I'm a little bit tight. Let's see if I can fix that. This is definitely more of the forward bend shape than the traditional Sarvangasana. So if you ever practice in near Lama, then you could try that and see if you can breathe better into the back body. And then everyone begin to lower yourself down. Rest your shoulders on the floor. Bend your knees into your chest, roll to your side, and lift yourself up. Or not, just stay there. All right, so pick a forward bend you like, because again, we're just gonna focus a little bit on breathing into the back body. So Upavisa Konasana, you could do a forward bend like this, the legs crossed, you know, but the idea is to round the upper back so you need some support. Round the upper back. And breathe into the upper back. If your legs are crossed, change the cross of your legs. Then lift yourself up and come into Shavasana. Well, I'm embarrassed to say, I was trying to remember how to do prone Shavasana and I couldn't remember. I know the ankles are supported and the head's supported, but I couldn't remember what goes under the chest. So I'll look that up for next week and we'll try prone Shavasana next week. So in regular Shavasana, you roll your shoulders under, like you would for back bends or opening the chest. I mean, I think the reason we do back bends and opening the chest and all that kind of stuff is so many people are slumped forward. But, and then maybe that's why they can breathe better through the back body. I don't know. Rest the weight of your body into the floor. Soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw.
Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. And use the next few moments to focus on your breath. Deepen your breath. Bend your knees in towards your chest. Support your head as you roll to your right side. Roll a little further to your right side and use your arms to lift yourself back up to seated. Take your arms wide at your chest. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Think of something you're grateful for. Namaste. Thank you.
Becky.
You're welcome.